All right, what's your name?
Hey, I'm Rich from Grom Squad Official.
And what is Grom Squad Official?
We are basically a brand that focuses on sharing some of the best Grom and monkey content out there, Instagram and Facebook. We also have our own merch as well, from stickers to t-shirts to hats, and some new other things in the works as well.
Okay, and the link will be in the description for anyone that's interested. Richard, what are we looking at here?
So here we have my 2018 Honda Grom. Performance-wise, it's a 217cc MO Power Performance built motor. Mike over at MO Power Performance is the one who actually hand built it for me with his parts, which actually includes a billet cylinder from him, a lightweight piston, Koso 4-valve head that's been fully ported by him, Koso 34mm throttle body that's been fully ported to a 37mm with the blade switched out, so it's actually a true 37mm throttle body. His billet 4-valve tappet covers and billet cam vent cover as well, which we will be carrying on our website here on Grom Official very soon. I have them coming in stock this week. Besides the motor of his 217 big bore kit, it also has a Takegawa 5-speed transmission as well. I changed out the cam guide to a speed shot cam guide as well with the Deca manual cam tensioner. As far as the other, that's performance mods, it does have a Brock ShortMeg 2 exhaust with the MO Power Performance gasket, billet gasket as well, to replace the OEM crush gasket, which the nice thing about that is it's obviously you can take it off, on and off, you never got to worry about it. It's also port matched to the size of the head that he ported on the exhaust side as well. I did add a higher cranking starter to help with the compression, since it is a higher compression motor. It does have a 210 Shorey lithium ion battery. As far as suspension goes on it, it does have a G-Craft plus 10 centimeters, which is 4-inch extended swing arm that I powder coated in a transparent black color. It has racing on the front. It has Racing Bros lowering fork kit that I also had MO Power add their adjustable internals valving as well to help with getting it more dialed in for track or whatever you may need to do with it. On the rear, I'm running their rear adjustable chicane, adjustable rear shock, which allows you to change your dampening, compression, a couple other settings as well, again, to get it dialed in to each rider's feeling for their particular ride that they're doing. It does have a billet 2.5-inch lowering link on the rear as well. I did forget to mention on the front with the Racing Bro lowering fork kit, they allow two different lowering adjustments. It has a 3 and a 4-inch. This is dropped 3-inch. Going 4-inch makes it a bit more harder to turn, and it gives you less ground clearance. So if you're in for more looks, then you can go down another inch or so. As far as brakes go, I am sponsored by Galfers brakes, which is now called GB brakes. I'm running their wave rotors on the front and rear along with their double H pads. I'm also running 4 Moto stainless brake lines as well. Tremendous difference between OEM and to that. They are, for golfers wise, it is by far the best rotors you can get for a Grom as far as quality, performance, can't beat it. Performance too for the 210, it's all, to keep it all in line and dialed in, I'm running an ARacer RC2 Super ECU with a ARacer AFN wideband with the ARacer Imode Gen 4 screen, which helps me monitor everything as we're going down the road, making sure your air fuels, making sure all that is still okay. That was all tuned. The full motor was tuned by Cameron Jones of CJR Performance on his dyno. At the time that it was tuned, it made 31 wheel on pump 93. About 6-7 months later, I had it dyno locally here in Illinois at another shop up north on like a nasty humidity day, and it was still able to put down 32 wheel on pump 93. So it's a very strong motor. I can't complain. It's very, very, very responsive. It's been very good. I have roughly 3,500 miles or so on it, and I've just done your usual maintenance. So your oil change, checking your valve guides, do that every 500 miles, along with checking the time and chain tension as well, making sure that's the correct tension, all every 500 miles. Otherwise, I have not done anything major as far as keeping it in line. As far as cosmetic stuff, I have not gone really too crazy cosmetically on it yet. I was more focused on performance. So it does have a Taiga full Taiga carbon fiber gas tank cover. I am in the works of getting a Taiga headlight cover, but I have not got that yet. But it does have the Taiga rear gas tank cover, and I did get an eBay carbon cover to kind of match that kind of look. I also got from overseas in Thailand My side panels, as you see, are not the normal matte gray color that they come with. I got gloss black. Those are true Honda OEM panels from Thailand. Just to kind of clean it up, I was not a fan of the flat matte gray look that they came with. I also swapped out the SF wheels for OG wheels. If you know Groms, you know that the OG wheels are actually lighter than the SF wheels. They're actually stronger as well, and they're gloss black. And also, if you notice, I switched out the calipers, the OG calipers too, to get rid of the red look on it. So now it has the black OG calipers on it as well. Otherwise, I mean, it's been a great bike. I can't complain. I ride every Sunday with, obviously, Sean in our group swap shop. I've ridden in Tail of the Dragon multiple times now. It's never really left me stranded motor-wise. Runs good. Gear it correctly, I can easily get over 100 miles to a tank, which a lot of people are pretty, are shocked with a 200 plus cc motor. But like I tell them, if the air fuel, if your tune is on point and you have it geared correctly, I mean, it's a little worse than a stock bore bike, but really it's not that terrible unless you have the motor screaming, and then obviously you're eating gas. But it's been honestly an outstanding motor. I can't thank Mike from MO Power enough for literally his continuous help. He helps me on any questions I have, from whether it be performance, suspension, anything. I highly suggest going to him. On top of, honestly, yeah, I forgot to mention too, our buddy over at David DHM, I gotta go give him a shout out. So I actually run his titanium axles and his swing arm bolt as well. Two of the best dudes in, honestly, the industry. Can't go wrong with either one of them. Best customer service. I highly, highly, highly recommend reaching out to them for anything performance-wise, anything really kind of related that you're not too sure of. They're both are always willing to help everybody in the community. And as far as like big motor stuff, I really, really suggest reaching out to Mike. He's been doing this for, I think, I want to say, I could be wrong, I want to say it's roughly 12, maybe 15 years now. He's been messing with small motor stuff on top of other kind of larger motorcycle motors, but the man knows his motorcycles. He's got some real fast bikes in Colorado that are dirt bikes that have won numerous events out there. So the man knows his stuff when it comes to porting and performance.
So are you the original owner of this?
Actually, I bought this used, oh man, actually just right about 3 years ago. I got it from a guy down in like Carbondale or Carpenville, something like that, middle of Illinois. It was kind of beat up used. It's kind of like his off-road pitter bike. I think I paid like 2,500 bucks on it, but it had like 900 miles on it. Now it has roughly, I switched out clusters. I did forget to mention, it does have a Koso aftermarket cluster on there. The only reason why I switched that out to help me able to shift lights so I can see when I'm at the top of my RPM a little bit better if I am racing any. With that mileage, I think I have roughly 4,000 miles on the bike. Like I said, I know I have about 3,500 on the motor itself on this 217cc. But no, I am not. I'm the second owner of the bike.
I noticed you got another mini moto at home. What bike was that?
I do. I just purchased a 2023 CRF 110.
CRF 110. So, Richard, are you like mainly just like a mini moto guy? Have you ever thought about buying a bigger bike, or is this like just kind of your thing?
Honestly, I honestly didn't think I would own at least a street legal bike just because of all the idiots we have on the road. I just happened to be bored one day. Not really bored, but my car has been in the works. I got a G8 GXP that's being built. Should actually be running any day now. But I was just kind of getting tired of just not going out and everybody else having fun in the summer, going out to car meets and whatnot. So then I started like noticing the Groms kind of being more popular in our area, or minis, which they kind of always been, but maybe just because I wasn't paying attention. But I noticed them more. And it kind of interests me because big bikes, I'm a small guy, so getting on a big bike, I just don't feel comfortable on it, number one. So once I sat on a Grom, and I was just like, I just fell in love because it felt like the perfect bike for my size. I'm, like I said, not a very big guy at all, 100 pounds, 105 pounds, so I'm not big, I'm not tall either. So being on a Grom was perfect fit. As far as future bikes, there are a few other bikes that I think I would probably get. I've been looking at a KTM 450 SMR, which is not a street legal, I guess you could say it's a supermoto, but it's really not. It's more the race kind of bike. That would be a kind of a bigger bike I'm looking into. But otherwise, I'm really just, I love the mini stuff. If I could, I'd get a monkey. Big fan of the monkeys. The CRF will eventually be street legal here. I'm in the works of getting a license plate on that. I'm going to keep it the stock suspension for the time being, just so for the fact I can take it off road next year and actually go to the 2 events that people aren't familiar with. So there's 2 events that happen in the mini world that are like the biggest ones.
Tell us about those.
So the first one you have it's actually next year will be the end of the weekend. I think it's Memorial Day weekend. It's Barber Small Bore, which is in Alabama, which is at the Barber Vintage Museum, Motorcycle Museum. If you haven't been there, which I have not, just heard from people who've been there numerous times, it's one of the absolute best museum, which it will take a day to 2 days to fully walk through it to enjoy all the motorcycles, from, I'm talking vintage to new stuff to rare. Some of the most rarest motorcycles you'll find are in that museum. Well, they help put on a little mini small bore event with Man in the Box, which is a small bore company who helps put out parts for different stuff, Groms, monkeys, etc. They put an event there at the Barber Motorsport Park. They do a little bit of like a 330-foot drag race thing. You get to ride their GP track that they have there. They do a barbecue like meetup thing on Friday night. They have a couple things throughout the weekend, but it's a 3-day event. This year they had, I think roughly they said 2,000 plus people. The following weekend is in Tennessee, which is called the Smoky Mountain Small Bore Rally. This year, it's usually, the last few years, it's been put on by Matt and Tiffany Carpenter. This year they have joined forces with Detroit Ruck Garage Lee. He's actually taking forefront of it this year and kind of taking reins and gonna be in full control of it. Their event's a little bit different. It's not just focused on being in one area. They do have that. That's usually Friday and Saturday. They have an event day at an event location. That is where you get to meet all the vendors, get everybody together, and really get to see everybody. But otherwise, they have different things throughout their 3-day event that they do. They do a drag racing portion one day. On top of the drag racing portion, they do a scavenging hunt, which also includes, so you got to get cards. They have different locations picked out. You got to get them all completed within a certain amount of time frame and back to the event place. You can win trophies. The best thing about Tennessee is, even if you didn't want to participate in their stuff, there's so much riding around there. You have the Tail of the Dragon, you got Foothills Parkway. I mean, there's just endless amounts of riding that if you're from an area like we are here in Illinois where everything is flat and corns around you, getting out to mountains and just being around that scenery is something I truly tell people to take in, because it's something that I can't explain if you're from Illinois. It's really peaceful. So being just out in Tennessee, you can ride for absolutely days upon days. There's just so many roads out there that are gorgeous. So that's my main thing when I get out to Tennessee, is I do a lot of riding. I'm usually so for next year, I will be attending both events for the first time. I will be going to Barber Small Bore, and I will be going to Smoky Mountain Small Bore Rally as well. So a total of basically 10 days or so I will be out of work, more or less you can say, to attend both events. So you will be seeing me there. Barber Small Bore, I will have a tent set up. I'll have merchandise there for sale. As far as Smoky Mountain, I'm not sure that I'll have a booth yet. I'm still deciding what to do. It all depends on kind of the other people that I go with and who will be there and kind of what we kind of collab on. But either way, if you see me, I usually have stuff on me, whether it be stickers or something, so you can always grab something from me. If you're not from Illinois and you need something and you don't want to order it, you can always, when I'm at the events, more than welcome. I usually have something on me.
So guys, make sure you check that out. Go see Richard, Grom Squad Official. If you have any questions about Grom, the Honda Grom, I'm sure he'll answer any question you got. So Richard, did we leave anything out about this Grom, or did we cover it all?
A few things that I did notice just now. I do also have aftermarket rear sets. I have driven racing rear sets. They're actually for OG, but OG and SF parts are pretty much interchangeable, with besides some minor like bolting stuff. So I had to basically make a bracket by the exhaust back there by the Brocs. My buddy who actually helped do the first build on this actually is the one who made the exhaust bracket. That's about it, but otherwise they're just OG driven racing rear sets, which help give you different positions for racing, more or less like MotoGP racing, and put your foot in a different position. It also raises them up from the factory rear set so you can get more ground clearance when you're turning. I also forgot to mention it does have a Brocs adjustable kickstand. Hands down, one of the best kickstands out there is the Brocs. They offer 2 different lengths depending on how low your bike is. The only other thing I did forget to mention, I do have a DeRoe. People are asking, well, how are you keeping this motor cool? It does have a DeRoe 7-row Juggernaut oil cooler on it. I did switch out the lines that it came with to -6 AN fittings and lines, which go to the Kikako clutch cover, which also has their oil filter as well, which makes changing oil way easier doing it that way.
Nice. Well guys, I know out of all the Honda Groms that I see, this is one of my favorites. So I thought I'd come out, meet Richard, and just go over the bike, learn a little bit about it. All right, let's start this bad boy up.